Hello, it's Kat and I'm here ready to do some crafting with you today. We're going to make some animals out of loops of paper today to kind of make a little winter scene. If you do any winter decorating at your house, or another great option for these is to turn them into puppets, and then you can do some animal themed puppet shows and play with them that way. So I have all of my supplies here, and I'm going to show you how to make some cute little animals. Let's get started. So you need some strips of paper and also some pieces of other construction paper so you can do shapes like wings and tails and noses and things like that. If you have some pom-poms, there are a few in the craft kit bags. If you have some pom-poms, those are fun for noses and ears and feet on different animals. And then your scissors and your glue. And then you also got these tree pieces in the craft kit. If you weren't able to pick up a craft kit, then you can make your own trees. And what you need to do is make sure that you cut halfway up from the bottom on one and halfway down from the top on the other. And to put your trees together, you slide those slits in. So you need to make 2 loops out of your paper strips. And if you want larger animals, see these are as big as my hand, then you do 1 strip for the body and 1 strip for the top, but I make the head a little bit smaller than the body. So you don't quite use a full strip on the top. You get an extra piece left over, but then that's great for cutting out feet or face features with that little piece. So we have a body and a head, and then you want to glue them together. There we go. You can also, if you want to make your animals smaller, you can do it 2 different ways. You can use this whole strip and sort of twist, make 2 loops out of the 1 strip. And before you glue it together, make sure you have a look and see if that's the size that you like. And then that way your animal will be short and wide, so like a cute little chubby animal. Or you can make a narrower strip of paper. So I'm going to fold this one in half. And then now I have a narrower strip. I am going to adjust this here. So I'm going to make a short and narrow animal. So I'm going to mark where I want that to go. There we go. There's another body and head that I can turn into a little animal. So when you have an animal that has a long tail, like maybe you're making a squirrel, or I made this fox, use some of your other paper to cut that out and glue it on, and you can color in the detail or make the detail out of paper. Like this fox, I cut these white pieces out of paper as well. And I also cut the ears out of paper, but pom-poms make really cute ears. And if you're making a bird that has wings, or you want to put the front legs on an animal, with the penguin, I glued these wings just inside the edge of the body, but you could also fold the top of the wing down a little bit and glue it in here, so then the wing would hang down the side of the body. And I'll show you, I'll make one like that to show you. I've decided I want to make this brown one a porcupine, because porcupines hang out all winter long. So I took some of my brown paper, and I'm going to do the spines, and I folded the brown paper about as wide as my porcupine. So then when I glue this on, the spines will stick out around the back, but I folded it in half so that when I cut, it will be kind of like if you make a paper heart, how you do in half and then you cut it out and unfold it and you get the whole thing. So now when I unfold this and I glue it down here, it will give the effect of having some spikes back there. So I think I'm going to use pom-poms for the little ears on my porcupine, and then we'll put a face on. When you're gluing pom-poms, you need a little extra glue. So what I like to do is take the side of the pom-pom and sort of scoop some glue onto it so that I have a nice chunk of glue, and then stick it on. And these, you do have to wait. You need to have patience for the pom-poms to dry. If I'm cutting, you can draw your face on. I'm gonna cut some eyes out of white paper, and when I do eyes, I like to, again, fold my paper in half and roughly the size that I want the circle to be. And then that way I'm cutting out both eyes at the same time. So then I can draw the pupils in those and stick them on. To make a beak, like on the penguin, I folded about as long as I wanted the beak, and then you snip a triangle. So then I glued this down flat in the middle, and then folded the top and the bottom down to meet. So I'm going to use the edge of my glue stick just to get through glue on just the middle chunk here. And now you can fold the top down, and you can leave it like that if that's the look you like. I like to pinch the end just a little bit to give it kind of that folded beak shape. For my owl wings, I want to glue them here to hang out the side. So I'm going to make sure that I leave myself a tab for gluing. And then I will give some feathers on the one edge. So that's just kind of an idea. I'm gonna not follow those lines exactly while I'm cutting. So now I have these two, and I'm going to glue the tab in and just fold them down a little bit so then they kind of pop out the side like that. And you can draw or color to get sort of a more detailed look, make them look a little bit feathery, fluffy. There we go, little owl. So you do the same kind of thing. If you're making some mini ones, you just make smaller body parts, smaller face, and away you go. If you want more trees, take one side and trace around and cut out for as many trees as you want. So you need 2 pieces for every tree, one cut halfway down from the top and one cut halfway down from the bottom. And if you're doing this, making more trees, then use heavier paper like construction paper, or if you have a empty Kleenex box, the cardboard from the empty Kleenex box or cereal box would be really great for trees because they'll be strong to stand up by themselves. So I have some cardboard from a cracker box, and I'm going to glue some of my animals onto it to make a little bit of a scene. I picked some cardboard because it's stronger. Just regular paper or newspaper the animals might still fall over because they can't really stand up by themselves, and a regular paper isn't necessarily strong enough. And then I'm gonna hold with my fingers for a few seconds, but if you have, maybe you have some small rocks, or maybe you have a little tiny paperweight, you could set something in there, your scissors, just to hold it so it doesn't fall while the glue dries. And for your trees, you can glue them down too. I'm going to just make a little snip in this trunk. And I'm going to pop this tree together. Then I'm going to fold the trunk pieces and use them as my tabs for gluing down. So then I have these 4 tabs here that I'll put glue on. Okay, and then you can stick this tree down. There we go. Now, if you want to find something like crinkle up some newspaper or white paper or tissue paper, or maybe you have some cotton balls at home, you could pull them out and fluff them up to kind of give it a snowy look. I'm going to put my porcupine over here too, but my fox and my penguin are puppets, and I'll show you how to make them puppets. You have a popsicle stick or a straw at home, plastic straw, not a reusable silicone one or metal one. Glue this, you can glue the popsicle stick or the straw onto the back, and then you'll have a puppet on a little stick. You can also take a strip of newspaper and glue it down to make a loop for your finger, and then you'll have a little finger puppet. And there you go. So now this fox is a little finger puppet that can bop around and do little puppet shows. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you'll have fun with this craft. There's a lot of possibilities. Any animal that you want to look up, it doesn't have to be one that lives somewhere wintry. That's the theme that I chose, and it's a lot of fun because you can turn them into puppets if you want and put on little puppet shows with them, or set them up as a nice little decoration if you do winter themed decor in your room or at your house. And you can look up what animals live in the same areas, so then you can have groups of animals that might be from the same part of the world. Have so much fun with this. Thanks for joining me.